In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to do a Tunisian knit stitch dishcloth just like this. Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd as well as yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey, and this is part of the Learn Tunisian hosted by Mikey series. Now this pattern is not available on yarnspirations.com because the reality is that this project is identical to the other one that is a simple stitch. The only thing I did differently is that I changed it to a knit stitch. So within today's project we're going to show you how to do the Tunisian knit stitch, which is represented by TKS. And so let's begin to do that process from the casting on to being able to do the knit stitch to the casting off. In the more information of this video you're going to find the pattern for the Tunisian simple stitch dishcloth. Now this is the Tunisian knit stitch dishcloth, but it's still going to use the same information. So we're going to use a size 6mm size J today, and the recommendation of the yarn ball is a 5mm. Remember that we have to make our sizes bigger as per our Tunisian series in order to keep the tension proper. What we're going to be using off camera is that we're going to use the lily sugar and cream. You just need one ball in order to make that work, just like this. So let's begin. We're still using the same pattern, so we're just going to start off with a slip knot and insert our hook in, and all we just need to do, remember that the first one never counts as one. We want to do 26. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and simply just go all the way to 26, and I'll meet you back in just a moment. So now that I have my 26 on here, I simply just want to go backward and I want to count to the second one. So this is 1 and 2. Turn that chain around and just go into the back hump or the back loop of the chain, yarn over and pull through, and just shift it down your Afghan hook. So just go into the very next one that's available, and you want to start collecting these going all the way across. Okay, it's that simple. So if you started off with chaining of 26, you're going to have 26 loops on here by the time that you get to the other side. So just simply just work down your chain and grabbing this. Now this is the second video in the Tunisian series, and we have covered this process more in depth in the other first two tutorials. So I'm just gonna speed on along and just collect them, and then I'll show you how to go backward in order to do the next row. Just like so, and we're ready then to go back. So with the Tunisian we always just go back and forward. We never turn our project around. We just continue to go back and forward. So to go in the back into where we came, we have to yarn over and pull through one loop only. So we're just chaining one, and then wrap the hook and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2, and we do that all the way back. And I'm kind of using this hand here to kind of pull it off the hook. So it's slightly different motion than crochet in some way, but it has a really neat look to it. And I'm just yarning over and pulling it through 2. We're gonna do this each and every time. There's no bells or whistles in this particular project for doing anything complicated. This is the basics of getting started with Tunisian. Okay, so I'm getting all the way back, and I'm gonna show you how to get started on the next row. So you're going to want to continue to do this same instructions until this gets into an 8-inch height if you wish, or you can just continue to use the ball, up to you. Okay, so now that I'm all the way back, I want to begin to do the knit stitch. So the knit stitch actually requires you to stick your hook into a different section of the strands. So right in the simple stitch we just came in behind the first vertical, okay, and we just yarned over and pulled through. But we're gonna be changing that this time. What we need to do is that we need to stick it into the first vertical, but then end up pushing it out diagonally to the other side, and then yarn over and pull through. And this is turning the stitches sideways. So you're just coming into the first vertical and then out directly on a diagonal to the other side. to the back side. So just in, and the first one is always kind of maybe a little difficult to start. I don't really have much of an issue, but in the learning process it's a little bit difficult. But then once you start doing it, and the next row, you'll see the stitches a lot easier. It's just a matter of establishing it. The knit stitch is not really visible until you get past beyond row number 2 of doing it. So this is kind of row number 1 of doing the knit. So the knit stitch is actually a lot easier to see when you're moving up through the rows versus the first time you're ever applying it to your particular project. So you're going to move all the way down, and then I'll show you how to go backward in the other direction. So I'm coming up onto the final, and I want to handle it the same way. So I'm coming into the second last one, again on a diagonal still. Okay, so on the edges what we have to do is that we have to insert into the chain stitch. So there should be 2 strands of yarn that you see. Yarn over and pull through, and then that keeps your yarn all nice and consistent on the edges. To move back in the other direction, we simply yarn over just like before to 1 loop only, and then yarn over and pull through 2 all the way back. So going backward is always the easiest part. I just use my hand and I kind of pull it off the hook as I'm doing it. I'm doing a little bit of motion with this hand in order to pull the hook back, but I'm using this hand in order to kind of pull it off as well. So it's kind of a two-handed thing. You're going to notice that your project will curl, and that's based on the tension. You don't want your dishcloth to be really loosey-goosey, because you'll probably apply it to your dishes and you want it to be stable. Okay, so it's just nice and easy coming all the way back. So when we go forward, we want to still continue the knit stitch technique, but it's going to be a little bit easier to see this time. So let's begin to do the casting off process, and it's slightly different than the simple stitch one. So just like we had been doing the simple stitch cast off, we come in and we yarn over and we pull through and through. We don't want to do that this time. This time we want to carry on that knit stitch, or to make it look consistent. So all we just need to do is just continue to do the knit stitch going in through the vertical, out through the other side, pull through and through. Okay, so I'm gonna show you an example on my project where what happens is that if you go to cast off and you don't do that process, do you see here? So you can see that I started, but then I end up going back to the slip stitch by accident, and you can see that it doesn't look consistent. See? That doesn't make any sense, right? So when you go to do the casting off process, you want to make sure that you're doing the same kind of stitching that you had been doing, which is the knit stitch, in order to work yourself all the way across. So you can apply a border, just simply just follow this with a size H or a 5mm crochet hook with the same yarn, and just go all the way around in the corners. Put in 3 single crochets, and you will have like a really cool dishcloth. You will find these don't take very long to make. The Tunisian process, once you get started with it, can be quite addictive, and you can whip off a lot pretty quickly, I would think. When you get all the way to the other side, just simply fasten off and just weave in your ends, and then your dishcloth is good to go, and then you can be able to celebrate it just like this. If you want to do a thicker border, what I did here is that I actually went around twice. So I just once I got around, I went around again, and again in the corners I put in 3 single crochets into the corner before moving on to the next one here. So that's a choice that's up to you, and this is how you do a simple dishcloth in knit with Tunisian. Till next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarnspirations as well as the crochetcrowd.com. We'll see you.